All right, should be live now. For anyone watching the replay, um, leave a comment if you have a question. We'll answer it on the next time we do one of these streams where we answer Dynasty football questions. I'm here with another guru in Austin. Fantasy football Dynasty guru.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, we're going to talk some trades, maybe rank the top positions, and yeah, answer any questions if anybody comes by. Getting started though, I guess we can bring up DHop.
Okay.
Um, is he someone that you, now that he's gotten cut, is he someone that you like more or less?
Uh less. Less mainly just because I think with Kyler Murray you had kind of the dual factor that made DHop shine because Kyler was either he was gonna chuck the ball up and see who catches it or he was gonna run. So the defense was looking at him more for that for his legs. So it gave DHop more opportunities. Um, Now with D-Hop being up in the air as a free agent, I mean, he could go to a standstill quarterback, even though the NFL in general is turning more into a running league as far as quarterback goes. But it's also, there's a lot of big free agent names out there, maybe not necessarily wide receiver based. So there's a couple names out there that I've heard of him going, and right now I'm not too hyped on him. Would I like him on my bench? Of course, but it's not somebody I'm currently seeking.
Yeah. I
But,
See, I guess I'm a little bit more optimistic with you. I think somehow, some way, he's going to end up in Buffalo or Kansas City. If he doesn't, then I kind of agree with you. Then I don't know if I like him more. Because I don't know
do
how
you
crazy I
think,
am about him going to, like, the Browns or something.
right? Do you think though that Kansas City even has the cap space for somebody like D Hop? Because D Hop's going to want to get paid, right? I think Buffalo's pretty strapped as well. That was one of the issues um, when what's his face before he went to Baltimore. Because he was looking at the Bills, but then he wanted to get paid, and the
Oh,
Bills noticed
Odell.
him.
You're
Yeah,
thinking of.
Odell, because he Odell wanted 18 plus, and the Bills just going to pay him. So I don't know. I don't know if any place could really afford D Hop because I would say D Hop is higher than Odell personally,
Yo, yeah.
and
Yeah,
you know,
just cause he was good last season. Where Odell is
right,
coming off an injury, so who knows. But,
right, and hasn't
yeah.
played it in a year. So yeah, D Hop is kind of a weird story. One thing I texted you about earlier this week is he was seen here in Minneapolis. For me, that puts D Hop kind of off my fantasy thinking currently because if he does, let's just say Vikings were on the table, right?
Yeah.
Vikings got JJ and now they got Jordan Anderson, right? Where does D Hop fit into that? Because he's going to want to be at least 1-2,
And
for the target.
and we got Hawk. So
Exactly.
so right. If he comes here, that then his value is definitely going down. But
Right.
I, I don't know. We'll see. But
So
I just
anywhere that has like decent weapons, I would say if D Hop goes somewhere there, then he's like the third weapon on the table. He's not worth grabbing because no matter what on a fantasy roster, people are going to want basically almost like a first round talent or second round talent for somebody like D Hop, right?
yeah
As you have experienced so far,
yeah
trying to get off them.
yeah. For again people watching the replay, I sent a trade Darren Waller, second round pick, third round pick, and it's the 206 and the 305 in a league again with Darren Waller for DHop, like the day he got cut, and of course got rejected, and then I got some trash trade back, like Elijah Moore for first, second, and a third. Like, just
So I don't know if I told you this yet when you told me that, but I would have accepted that trade in a heartbeat, right? Because I think that's too expensive for DHop. I would never give that much for DHop, especially not knowing where he's going and if he's going somewhere right now. Yeah. So for me, that's way too expensive. So if nobody's accepting a trade like that of that value, I wouldn't even touch DHop right now, personally.
yeah. All right, yeah, we're kind of different on that.
Well, and then you got to think about it though too, because it's a dynasty league, right? He's got how many more years in front of him? The year before, he was hurt all year. So
Waller's old too.
Yeah, I feel like Waller has a couple more years than DHop, but at the same time, Waller gets hurt all the time too. So there is that in play.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next thing, I'll do my top 5 fantasy QBs.
Ooh, right.
There might be a guy or two left off the list that people won't like, but oh well. Number 1, obvious, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Number 2, also obvious, Josh Allen.
Okay.
And then where it gets kind of dicey, I got Herbert at 3.
Okay.
A little bit of a look. I'm not a Hurts guy.
Okay.
He's probably still top 10, but
Herbert's got the weapons for sure.
Not as many injuries. He doesn't run. Not as many injuries.
Okay.
Yeah. 4, I got Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
And then 5, Burrow.
Okay, that's who I was waiting for. Okay.
See, Burrow just like here I am. I got you in every fantasy league, so I'm kind of giving away a secret here. But I like QBs that play indoors.
Yep.
And if they play teams that are also indoors or in good weather, I like that too, because then you're scoring more points typically. And that's kind of my thing with Burrow. Up in Cincinnati, which is obviously outside, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, all those outside games.
Yep.
So still top 5, but that's why I got Lamar. Even though I guess Lamar's in the same position, but obviously he gets points with his legs.
Right. So my question for you though, with Lamar being a little higher than Burrow, see me if we had the same list, I would actually have Herbert 5th on that list. I would probably go Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and Herbert. So, I mean, similar-ish. I would probably have a couple different names, but with Lamar, I understand because when he plays and he has a good game, right? Like last year, you would get like almost 40 points some weeks, right?
Yeah.
He gets hurt a lot, though. I mean, that was like one of the
yeah.
I mean, that was one of the reasons you didn't have Jalen on it, though, is because of his injuries. So, but with Jalen, he's younger, right? And he has a more foundational team, right? As much as I hate the Eagles, I mean, they're easily probably one of the best teams going into the season. And, I mean, Lamar's got Odell, and a couple other.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Lamar, he got a couple. He's got my man Rashad Bateman coming back. He was a former first-round pick. Went to college here in Minnesota. Okay, Zay Flowers, who was a first-round pick. He was the pick right before Jordan Addison. And then
Yeah.
Odell. Still got Mark Andrews there. So,
I think Jordan Addison's going to be a better receiver than Dave Flowers, though.
yeah. And we'll get into that in the future. He's my my top pick in of the receivers this year. But
Sure.
but otherwise, yeah, I guess we both didn't have Jalen Hurts in our top 5. Again, some of it's injuries. Some of it with me is injuries, and I feel like I just need to see one more good season. This team and him, it felt like Cam Newton and the 2015 Carolina Panthers all over again that went 15-1 and then lost in the Super Bowl to Denver, that team, and Cam was MVP that year. It just felt like that. And after that, Cam, he wasn't done, but he was falling down the hill.
Right. So, I'm not going to lie. My top 5 actually is probably significantly different here. Because no matter what, Mahomes is 1, right?
Yeah, Mahomes and Allen,
actually,
1 and 2.
I actually have Burrow as 2.
Over your man Josh Allen.
Yes. Because here's the thing, right? I think there's going to be a pretty big dramatic shift this season when it comes to the relationship between Josh Allen and Diggs. Diggs he's already starting to throw his fits. If Diggs isn't getting the attention that he wants and Josh Allen keeps making the mistakes that he was making last year, he's going to want out. Mid-season, whatever. He's going to throw his temper tantrums again. So, Burrow, he has he has the team in the palm of his hands. So I think he has a better handle on his team. Plus, he has better talent overall around him. The only thing that kind of throws a wrench in it is the Mixon debacles. But he has 2 of the best wide receiver combos right now in the league, right? With Jamar Chase and what the fuck?
You're thinking of T. Higgins, the other receiver?
Yeah, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
And I like Higgins a lot, too.
Yeah.
When he needs to be open, he's open, right? But I do have Josh Allen as 3, right?
All right.
4, I actually do have Jalen Hurts. 5 is very, very controversial, and I have to explain it before I say it. Okay,
it's gonna be like Kirk or something.
I have to explain it before I say it, right? Because even though this quarterback might not put up the same kind of numbers that the other 4 does, he has a better wide receiver base than he did last year. Okay. He has a lot more weapons and a better O-line at the moment, and he will have a better opportunity at success this year than he ever has in his career. He does play indoors, and I really hope I'm not jinxing this, but you never have to worry about an injury with this quarterback. That would be Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will easily probably be top 3 or 4 for fantasy quarterbacks next year. 100%. All
right, there we go. There's TikTok material. Hot take. Hot take of the day. Are we ready to talk running backs?
Oh boy! All
right. My top 5. I'm looking at. Okay, where did I see him? Number 1, Breece Hall. I don't care about the injury. Hey, he would have been Rookie of the Year last year.
Okay.
Again, we're talking Dynasty. Like, before you give me some dinosaur.
All right.
We're talking Dynasty. So, Breece Hall. Next, actually hasn't played in the NFL yet, but I got Bijan Robinson.
Hold on a second. He's unproven running back, and you already have him as the top 2 for a dynasty. Oh, okay. Okay.
Um,
Talking about my hot takes, okay.
again, age, man. Like, and like
Yeah, I hear you.
he
But
doesn't
like,
he doesn't look like as much of a home run hitter as Brees Hall, but I think he'll get a lot. Again, we're talking PPR league, so he'll get a lot of cheap points that way with receptions. Number 3, because he's still young, Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. Like, he was hurt last year.
Okay.
Number 4, easy, Travis Etienne.
This is just a fucking meme.
The list I'm looking at's got him at 7. Your list is about to be totally different. And then 5, C-Mac. For those that don't know, the Christian... that look. For those that don't know, the Christian McCaffrey draft,
Okay.
me, Austin, and Jackson, who no one watching this probably knows, we all had a running back we thought would be the best. Mine was Christian McCaffrey. You had Dalvin Cook, and Jackson was Leonard Fournette.
Okay. Okay. Who gets hurt the most?
All right, you're like really quiet. All right, now you're good. You're good.
All right. Who gets hurt the most between C-Mac and Cook, though?
Hey, that's why he's 5.
Okay. Okay. You have any more explaining, or do you need me to tear your list apart?
Well, I should bring up how Leonard Fournette got replaced by my running back, one of my late round favorites, Rashad White in Tampa Bay.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, let's hear your top 5 running dynasty running backs.
Hold on. Before we go into this, for your list, right? I can semi-handle the Brees Hall as number 1. Okay. Oh, it's semi, right? I get it. He's on second year. I mean, he's got the injury.
Rookie of the year last year if he didn't get hurt.
Oh, when did he get hurt? When
Midway.
did he get hurt?
Midway through.
Exactly. But we still had half a season that he didn't play. So, I mean, halfway through the season could have been Rookie of the Year. I mean, we'll never know. He could have fallen off towards the end. Like Zadarius Smith, for example, who had a crazy first half of the year as a veteran, right? And then he fell off. Never saw him for the rest of the season. Could have been the same thing for Brees Hall. Bijan Robinson has not played a down. Has not played one down in the NFL. We have no idea what the hell he's going to do. Even on my list that I have here for top 25 running backs, they have him at 3.
I'm looking at a list that has him at 1. I agree. You can't put him at 1. But with the age, plays in the dome.
But I feel like this whole list disrespected Jonathan Taylor completely.
So he's year 1.
He is my 1. He's not somebody necessarily that I would like to have necessarily on my team, but because I'm more of a wide receiver pick in the first round.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more consistent. But if I was to pick a running back for the first round, it would be Jonathan Taylor. You get the age. He's on a rebuilt team. I think they did really well in the draft. So I think they're actually going to be really good contenders this year. He's going to have a lot more help. And as long as he can avoid injury, he will be the number 1 running back of the year. ETN, okay. You have too much faith.
Travis Etienne?
No! I'm still on your list. ETN should not be. If anything, he maybe is 5. Here's the thing: even his ownership and coach doesn't believe in him, because today they even said they didn't want ETN to have 75% of the running job. So even they don't believe in him. Why would he be? Oh, okay.
Hey, last season was just fluky for him. Just wait.
Uh, yeah, fluky that he got that many points, maybe. But so my number one would be Jonathan Taylor, right? And then for me, for two, even though he's got the age a little bit on him, so there is a little bit of an age factor to be kind of wary of. But he just had it a little updated to his contract,
Oh my god.
and I really like this. So Austin Eckler would be my number two. Love the guy. My number three is actually Nick Chubb.
How old is
You
he?
do get he's not that old. I think
27. Okay.
he's actually, so he's still got quite a bit of years on him. They love him down with the Browns. Nice thing is that he's solid, right? You're going to get consistent picks. Points. Sometimes you'll get a lot more than you expect, but no matter what, you'll have the consistency. For me, with running backs, it's more about consistency rather than you have the crazy 30-point games and then a couple 2-point games. So 4 and 5, a little bit interchangeable, but I do have C-Mac. He has a little bit of a better and more consistent program now.
Yep.
He's with the 49ers, a lot better of a team around him rather than just being stuck at Carolina and him being the only thing on offense, right? So you're going to have a lot better of options as far as getting points. The only thing is that worries me is he does get hurt a lot, and when he does get hurt, he's out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
4, 5. This is where it gets a little tough, but I kind of want to go a little bit out of the realm of everybody else would go. I think a lot of people would say like Saquon or Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is the fucking like TikTok favorite, just because he had the good season that I thought he was going to have 2 years ago last year. But put the KP thing down.
I didn't know you could see me.
But for number 5, I'm actually going to go Tony Pollard. I think he's going to have a fucking nuts season coming up. Now, will that be consistent? Who knows? It is the Cowboys. You almost never know exactly what to expect. But I think barring injury, he's still young enough that he's going to be a really good running back option.
Talking about Tony Pollard quick. As the self-proclaimed running back whisperer, I've been saying for like 2 years, Zeke is a dead horse, Pollard's way better, and yeah, I look like a genius, or I did last season when he finally got more play time. And now Zeke,
last season especially.
And now Zeke will even sign with a team, probably once a couple people get hurt. One of those things. If one team has 3 running backs get hurt, sure, but no.
Right, and Zeke might be in trouble because with him, you get the age factor, right? Is Derrick Henry still with the Titans?
Yep.
Maybe.
List I'm at, they got him at 18. They have him one spot ahead of Rachaad White, which, looking at this list, he should actually still be a little bit higher.
Yeah. I mean, he did have a pretty decent season.
And next season, he's still going to get the ball a ton.
But the thing with Zeke, though, too, is start after June 1st. If the Vikings cut him, Dalvin Cook will also be a free agent. Personally, I'd rather have Dalvin Cook than Zeke if I had the choice, right? You get the age, and apparently his shoulder's all good, so. And Zeke hasn't showed anything in almost 2 years.
Yeah, I think for fantasy, I would lean Dalvin Cook a little bit over him just because he'll catch the ball a little bit. Zeke, that I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it seems like he catches the ball a whole lot less.
Yeah, that, and then Zeke has been more used as a third down back in the last couple of years. The only good thing with that though is you get the touchdown points. Um, so there is that. But otherwise, if you want more consistency, I would say Dalvin Cook.
All right, two receive. Well, or yeah, yeah. You gave your list. Well, let's just say your list one more time, quick. Jonathan
So
Taylor at 1.
Eckler 2.
Eckler 2.
Chubb 3.
Chubb 3.
C-Mac 4. And Tony Pollard for 5.
All right. So our top 5s, we only overlap one guy, Jonathan Taylor. Yikes. All right, receivers.
You're gonna piss me off, aren't you?
I mean, so I've been thinking about this one all day, and it is tough. As someone that believes in Jordan Addison, likes Hawk, it is tough for me to keep Jefferson at 1. Oh boy. But like, also, the guy I like a little bit more for fantasy has a quarterback that's younger. You have him as your number 2 quarterback, Jamar. I got Jamar 1. I'll keep Justin at 2. Come on, he's still top 2.
Okay.
3. So again, we're speaking Dynasty. Lamb, CD Lamb.
Okay.
Looking here. 4. Give me Olave.
Who?
Chris Olave at 4. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown at 5. Also,
no.
let me tell the stream quick. 2 years ago, Dynasty League, my very last pick and my very last taxi spot, I went with Amon-Ra St. Brown. That league had some cheaters and whatever going on, so it was canceled, but I looked like a freaking genius in that league if we would have kept playing. Because Amon was killing at the end of his rookie season. So obviously, like, you'll bring up A.J. Brown. Again, I'm not totally sold on Jalen Hurts as a passer. I want to see him prove it one more year. Brown's an amazing talent. He's still easily top 10 on my list. And then everyone else is too old or has a quarterback problem. All right, your list. Number 1, Justin Jefferson.
Hold on a second. You forgot probably the second best wide receiver in the entire league. The entire league.
Oh, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
but again, we're talking Dynasty.
Exactly, we are talking Dynasty.
So when he gets injured this year, what's he going to be worth? Nothing.
He's only been injured like twice in his career.
When Stafford gets hurt, what's he going to be worth? Nothing.
If Burrow gets hurt, what's Jamar going to be worth? Nothing. He needs a quarterback.
After the season, Burrow's not going to die after the season. Next season, they'll just light it up.
Oh, my God. All right. Okay, the fact that Jared is too. Let's just throw this out there. The wide receiver that just lit up the world last year had probably one of the greatest catches in NFL history last year, and you have him as number 2 is just ridiculous. He has one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, and in college he had an even better quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Oh. But not only that with JJ, right? But it's also I can understand why he would be 2, just because he does have Jordan Addison.
T.J. Hawkinson.
And then and Hawk, so there are
and what if we
other
replace
players
Kirk with a rookie?
Right.
Then next season's dicey.
Right. So I do understand why JJ could be too, right? Because you're gonna have to give these guys the ball, right? So, but I do think as far as the long play though, for the big down the field targets and stuff like that, it's always going to be JJ, which is where you're going to get majority of your points, right? I do have Cooper Kupp too. If he had a better quarterback, I feel like he would be significantly better than probably even JJ, right? I've been high on Cooper Kupp since his rookie year.
So let me ask you this. If whoever in our fantasy league has Jamar Chase, and they offered you a trade for Cooper Kupp, straight up, you wouldn't take that trade. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Okay. Well, okay, but think of it this way though. I have T. Higgins though, right? I don't want both Jamar Chase and
trade
T.
Higgins.
No. No.
We'll give you Cortland Sutton and Rashad Penny.
No. No. But no, and the thing is though too is okay with the dynasty you want to be young, right? You want to have a young team, but with the hitters. You also want a couple of vets that are going to be consistent and also put up the big points when you need them to. Cooper Kupp is that guy where he is getting to that vet age. He's not quite there, but, he is basically a vet now. He still probably has another 4 or 5 years in the league minimum, right, where he's going to still produce and produce at a high level. I mean, look at Thielen, who has been in the league for 10 years now?
Yeah.
Ish. And
Cooper Kupp's 29.
Right. But he, the production is going to be there no matter what, right? Even having somebody as beat up as Matthew Stafford, look at the fucking points that I was getting with Cooper Kupp last year. It's ridiculous. I do have Jamar Chase as 3. And then I do have CD Lamb as 4.
Yeah. I
think more for more controversial pick for my 5. I actually have Waddle. I think the only thing that hurts him right now is obviously having Tyreek Hill there. And then with Tua, it's always a hit or miss. It was a bad year for Waddle last year just because Tua missed half the year. And the introduction of Tyreek Hill, it's more. It needs to be balanced more, and they have to have a little bit more consistent quarterback play. I did see Tua went to OTAs, and he looked like he was 100 pounds heavier. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think Waddle has that talent. So if he does get traded at some point, or if they figure out this quarterback situation, Tyreek Hill isn't going to be there forever. I think he only has maybe another 2 years minimum or maximum in Miami. So Waddle's going to get a shot, right? It's going to be one of those things where you're going to get the consistent points, and then as soon as Hill's gone and we figure out this quarterback situation, he's going to shine. So.
Yeah, and I don't totally hate Waddle, but right. I like the list I'm looking at. They have Waddle over Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I don't. Yeah. I don't know how you guys can think that way with Hill there. He said he's going to play to the end of his contract, so 3 more years, I believe.
Yeah. I think they'll trade him.
Yeah, and I guess if you're betting on a trade, then it's real close. But, yeah, it's like with Cooper Kupp, if it was we kind of need to move on, but if it was like a redraft league, I don't care if you have him at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter to me, but just 29, just too old. All right, tight ends. Yep. For Dynasty. Oh, I already know we'll be different on this one.
Yep.
Number 1, give me Kyle Pitts.
He doesn't. Oh my god.
Number 2, give me TJ Hawkinson. 3,
Okay.
I will stick with Kelsey, which probably surprises people because number 4 is a whole lot younger. Mark Andrews.
Okay.
And number 5. Yeah, just give me George Kittle. Goddard,
Okay.
I'm not crazy about. Nah, yeah, none of these. And that Dalton Kincaid. I'm worried some of the other tight ends are gonna break out instead of the top ones. So, yeah. So yeah, your list.
Uh so I don't think this really surprises you in the least. Pitts is not going to be on my list.
Not top
Uh,
5.
not even,
Oh
probably not
my.
even top 10. Are you kidding me? Last year was atrocious. As of right now, he's a complete and utter bust. Right? Granted, I'll give him this. Right? No quarterback, but you have to think about it also too from the organizational standpoint. One, he still doesn't have a fucking quarterback this year.
Depends what you think of Desmond Ritter.
Not a quarterback. He's not. No. But then also is who else is on that team, right? There's one other target, and that's about it. So everybody's going to be double teaming these 2 targets, and Atlanta's going to be an absolute shit show. I think they're tanking so that they can get the first overall pick next year. Honestly.
Oh, if they got Caleb Williams in Atlanta, oh my god, that would be nuts. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan. Oh. But yeah, keep
Right.
going.
So I
Or,
mean,
yeah, you're number 1.
So my number 1 is going to be Hawk, 100%. He's super young still.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of time left in the league. He's on a really, really solid team.
Yep.
I mean, there are plenty of targets, but Kirk loves him as a target. So at least for this year, you're going to get really solid tight end play. With next year, who knows exactly what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. But you're going to see that consistency hands down. 2, Kelsey, 100%. He's the best tight end in the league. Yes, he's older, significantly older, but he's got the best quarterback in the entire league throwing to him, and he's the favorite target of the best quarterback in the league. So, and you're going to get a ton of touchdown points every single time, almost every single game. 3, I have Kittle. I like Kittle a little bit more than Andrews, just for the simple fact that the 49ers are just a ridiculous team. Even through all the quarterback situation last year, it was still pretty consistent across the board for all the targets. And everybody, Kittle he's a monster. He's more turned into the blocking tight end rather than more of the catching. But when he needs to, he's going to get you the points. Then I do have Mark Andrews. I think he'll be the favorite target of Lamar Jackson for this upcoming year. You just have to worry about injuries, especially as far as Lamar goes. But then for 5, kind of go a little bit off the board here. I am actually going to go with Evan Ingram. I think he should have actually pretty good year here coming up. I think it's just more about if we can see if that can be more consistent. It hasn't been consistent in the past, but last year was really good. So let's see what he can actually do. I feel like he should be solid.
All right. I'll say my top 5 again quick, and then, yeah, you say yours. 1, Kyle Pitts. 2, TJ Hawkinson. 3, Travis Kelce. 4, Mark Andrews 5, George Kittle.
Yeah. I got Hawk, Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, and Evan Ingram.
Yeah. List I'm looking at, yeah, they got Ingram down a ways, but he's got a couple good seasons there in Jacksonville. And like we talked on a stream, I'm not crazy about Calvin Ridley and like the other receivers there, so that helps.
Yep, exactly. I think he'll just be more of the consistent target there, so we'll see though.
All right, so next thing, we won't do this for too long because we're kind of getting close to that 45 minutes-ish range. Yep. But I guess typically once we're out of a list of doing stuff, we'll just talk trades. So trades for top players. Justin Jefferson. How many picks would it take to take him from you?
Picks?
Yeah.
So we're talking Dynasty, so it'll only be the incoming rookies, right? Or free agents.
Picks. And like you can only go 3 years out, so you can only do 2023, 2024, 2025.
Okay. Honestly, and being completely honest, it would take the next probably 3 first-rounders and maybe a second in 2025.
And yeah, I don't think you're crazy for that actually, because like with the first rounder this year, you just can't draft a top 3 fantasy wide receiver. Next year,
right. Well,
yeah, but then that's the thing. You don't know if that first rounder you're getting will be an early 24 pick. Might
exactly because then you're playing with JJ if he's going to have a really good year. And the dude's team is solid, you're going to have a late first rounder. So you got to kind of play with that. And then with that second rounder is just more of just the cream on the top in case you get screwed in those other first rounders, and you get a little extra back. Honestly, I would even ask maybe for a third rounder in one of those years as well if I could get it. Just because of that first round mentality that you might just get the last pick of the first round going forward. But I can understand if nobody wants to give that up as well, because that is a lot. But you're also getting a lot too. So what about you? Would you do about the same, or would you be a little cheaper?
Yeah, I mean, Like I said, I'm kind of in that ballpark. He's worth 3 first rounders, and the first one's got to be early to mid, too, or if it's, or at least it's got to be top 8, because in my opinion, 9 and 10, there's kind of a drop off. As someone that has first round picks and has looked at some of the rookies. But next, on like the overall list I'm looking at, Bijan Robinson. So again, not in the league yet. Let's say in the league you had the 101 and you needed a running back. What kind of trade assets would you need back, or picks wise, or
for the first overall pick, and I really need a running back.
And let's say you like Bijan.
Okay, if I like Bijan, honestly, alright, to make this quick, right? Because you don't want to spend too much time on this anyway. The problem is Atlanta. If he was anywhere else, I would want to take him, right? It's just the fact that he's on Atlanta, and right now it's a bad O-line. And while you got Drake London and Pitts there, the focus is going to be on him, right? So I don't feel like in that first year you're going to get a lot out of him no matter what.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would want, obviously, this year's first, next year's first, and a second if I can get it. If not, a third.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in that same ballpark. I also it's like too, if you have a really bad team, I don't know how bad you want to pick Bijan, and then with how fast running backs age, I think you are better just
Right.
taking the picks.
Yeah, and the problem is too is I mean, obviously there's a lot of different factors when you're trading picks and whatnot, and it's also who's trading you that pick. Because if it's the person, you're in a 10-man, and the 10th man is trying to give you his
Yeah,
first, and then the first next year, I'm not taking that.
that's
Right?
the
It would
thing
need to
too.
be.
That's the thing too.
Yeah.
If it's one of the best top two rosters in the league, in my opinion, and let's say even if they do have an early first, I want at least 3 firsts in, because
Yeah.
I'm if he
You
stays
get
healthy,
enough
I'm
in the
like
first
giving you
year.
the championship and
Right.
a good running back for the next few years. Um,
Also, on that though too, I feel like with the later first round picks, the people that have those later first round picks are the ones that are in that running back issue right now. Because like for me, for example, if I was picking, I would be the second, the ninth pick, right?
yeah,
The one thing that I have the issue with is running back. The rest of my team is basically solid, and I feel like that's even with our 10th. He needs a running back. So there's a lot of running back issues right now in the league. We could use a solid one.
yeah,
Bijan is probably not that bad. So, and especially if you are the 10th to go for the first, if you are on that side of things, probably wouldn't be a bad to at least try for it.
yeah,
But you are probably going to have to give up quite a bit.
yeah. You're right. So yeah, we'll do a few more of these top
Yeah.
players, and then we'll call it. Jamar Chase. I'm kind of in the same
Ooh.
boat. I want 3 firsts, and
Yeah.
again, if
It
I'm the
would be the same
person,
for JJ.
if I'm the person with Jamar Chase, yeah, I want 3 firsts, or 2 firsts, and
Good assets back.
yeah, like a top quarterback or something.
Yeah, I would say about the same as JJ. If I could, I'd rather have the players than the picks, just because you're gambling on those
Yeah,
picks. So it depends on how good that team is, obviously. But if they're willing to trade the farm for Jamar Chase, fuck it, I don't.
yeah. Uh, Jonathan Taylor. Um, he's someone. It's like
That's a hard one.
I'm if I have a first, I kind of got him right there with him, Bijan, and then I like the guy the Lions took, Jahmyr Gibbs. They
Mhm.
got rid of both their running backs, so obviously he's gonna have plenty of play time, unless you're like a
Right,
believer that David Montgomery will get a bunch of work, which I'm not really unless Gibbs gets hurt. So
right.
I'm kind of I guess maybe a mid first and a second, and again I would just pick Gibbs and see what I can do with the second.
Right.
Maybe bundle the second. I don't know. What about you?
Like I said, I feel like a lot of teams are going to be hurting for running backs this year. Um, just with how many ones were picked, how many people were dropped or got their contract changed up to, especially if you're in a dynasty, you're looking for the future, right? I feel like if you're in that mid first range, you got to go for Jonathan Taylor, especially if you really need a running back. I feel like if you're the first overall and somebody's offering you, maybe a couple picks, maybe like a 2025 first round, and then Jonathan Taylor. I would trade that almost in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you got a proven running back, right?
Yeah.
With a decent team behind him. Let him take Bijan, or more than likely, if you have that first overall, somebody's going to want it so that they can get the quarterbacks. So trade it to somebody who needs that quarterback anyway, and get that assets to get Jonathan Taylor if that's what you need as a running back. I'd much rather, because like with my thing, right? As you know, I don't really have too many picks to play with anymore because I
don't like
assets.
picks.
Right. I like the assets that are proven that I can get picks later if I really want to. If there's somebody that I really, really want. Otherwise, I have proven assets that I can kind of hold on to and wait to see if, hey, Bijan is a bust, but hey, maybe he'll be good next year. Take the scraps, and then I'll have him on my bench or taxi, you know. So that's my idea as far as Dynasty goes. Is it the best? No, but it's working for me right now.
Yep, and the last person we'll do, and then end the recording or the stream. CeeDee Lamb. If you have CeeDee Lamb, what would you take for a trade offer? I will jump in while you're thinking and say, so the guy that won in one of our leagues, or Team Name Loading, you know, he had CeeDee Lamb, and started 1-7. This guy literally started 1-7, and then didn't lose the rest of the season. Well, that was kind of because my guy Dak came back, and CeeDee Lamb was real good every week. He's young. I got him here at 24 years old. So it's almost like, for me, I still got him at like that 3. I gotta get 3 first, because at first this year I can't draft a replacement. I think, and it's like JJ and Chase are worth a little bit more, but like not a whole lot more. So if that makes sense. Okay, maybe I don't need a second. Maybe I just need 3 first. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Nah, I can see that. The only problem when it comes to Dak, right, is his shoulder keeps bothering him, and he keeps throwing picks, right? When Dak plays, though, Dak can fucking play. And then that's when CD was on fire. So, I have him at 4, right? You had him at 3, so we're right around the same ballpark, right? I wanted a little extra besides the 3 first for JJ. I would say I would still want the 3 first as well for CD, but that'd probably be where I stop. If anything, I would try to go for the 2 first and then a couple assets. Maybe a little bit of an older wide receiver in place, and yeah. I do have one here before we end.
Okay.
After we're done with CD, so.
No, I think we're good. Yeah. What's your mock trade or?
So, I think this one will have very different opinions on, which is why I thought it'd be more interesting. Because the ones that we were going over are the younger guys, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta throw in some of the older with that too. Travis Kelce, right? He's getting up there, right? I think he's got a minimum 3-ish years left. And obviously the favorite receiver for Mahomes. What would you either give or give up to get somebody like Kelce?
Now,
not to use this in our dynasty, because I do have Kelce.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna like lay a little bit more. So we're talking a 10-team super flex dynasty. No tight end premium. but still PPR.
Yep.
If I was just to take draft picks, I mean, a late round first, you can take just Dalton Kincaid or any tight end you want. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not too crazy on any one tight end.
Yep.
Um, so I would almost, yeah, probably. So I'm probably just like a late round first for a
That's it.
Kelsey. Yeah, and then obviously I can always bundle that first with the first I have and get some better, get some I actually need.
Sure.
Um, it's just like, uh, you know, it's something to work on because like tight ends they just aren't worth as much. I mean, honestly,
Yep.
maybe if someone just offered me the house of like second round picks, like three, I'd I'd take it and run.
No, for sure. That I think that's the big thing, right? Is his age. Um, the thing is though too, because like as you know, because you had him on your team last year, you just get so many goddamn points from him.
Yeah,
So that's the hard. I couldn't go with just the first, right? If I was to give him up, let's say before our dynasty draft here, I would need two firsts and maybe a third because he just has too much upside, and especially with how we have it set up, right? So for those that don't know, how we have it is you win three, and then the dynasty is just over, right? We'll restart, bring some guys or whatever, right? But my goal is to win the next three, and I feel like if he does play these next 3 years, he stays healthy, I'll probably have a really good shot at winning the next three. So if I was to give up that opportunity at almost a semi sure thing of getting those kind of points, I kind of need quite a bit that I can play with. Does that make sense?
yeah. Um, so you're talking like an early first.
Uh, well, so it depends on where that person is, right? So that's where the trade can get a little flexible. If he's a mid to late first, then I definitely need those two first rounders in the second. If he's an early first, I could see giving up just the first round pick this year, and then maybe a second next year, and maybe like a small kind of asset, like a really good defense or something like that. Um, I can imagine playing around a little bit like that, um, because right, there are other tight ends that you can pick up that'll be fine, right?
Yeah,
Not crazy like Kelsey, but they'll be fine. They'll be enough to win you games and to get you the points that you need, right? An average tight end in a regular PPR is going to get you between 8 and 12 points.
yeah,
So, Kelsey will get you closer to the 20s to 25s, which is nice. But 8 to 12 is all you can really expect from a normal tight end. So fine, you know.
yeah. And I guess I'll end it with this. It's like I can't totally kill you over that take because
Yeah,
it's almost like we're playing doctor. It's like
mm-hmm.
you see him lasting longer than I do. You know what I mean? So it's
Sure.
like we both believe he can produce,
Yep.
and we're yeah. And again, right? If I think he's gonna if he's got three more top seasons in him, then right, yeah, then he's worth two first and a second, something like that. But
Right.
yeah,
And I mean, like how we saw
I don't
last
believe
year,
it. Yeah,
for sure. And like we saw last year though with Tua, right? Super young, could be a very talented quarterback for the future, right? I would say for a dynasty, he's probably a good quarterback to keep your eye on. But as we saw last year when he took that hit, there was a good chance he could have retired last year and
yeah,
just been done. All it takes is one bad hit, and then your career is just over. So, and then when you're older, that risk gets a little bit higher. So it's the risk reward for sure.
yeah,
Um, I guess also too, before we end this, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it or not, as far as potentially the dynasty for the channel. I can let you talk about that if you want.
Oh, yeah. If you're someone that watched this all the way through, join my Discord. Active viewers, we're going to start up a league with, will be the commissioners, and it'll be a 12 team, super flex, start 12, something
Yep.
bigger. And yeah, that's the plan for August. Get some viewers, and if things get really big, maybe we can do multiple leagues or try some
For sure.
different settings, or who knows.
It wouldn't be a bad thing if we talk about this a little bit and we actually get a good amount of people and a good group. Maybe the winner gets a little bit of a prize, or the runner up, if you or I win the league, gets a little bit of a smaller prize or something like that.
Yeah.
Something we could talk about, and something that we can kind of see going forward, depending on the group that we get. So.
No, that's a good idea. Maybe win trading cards, jerseys.
Yeah.
I got an Antonio Brown jersey for the winner. They can choose home or away. I got both.
Right. Hey,
No, I'm just kidding.
And this Discord, invitation is open for everybody, whether you watch this whole thing or if you're on TikTok too, and we post this here. Hey, join the Discord so we can get this league going. It could be something really fun, and we're going to be having these kind of conversations weekly too, so you'll kind of get an inside look of what we're thinking, so you'll already know what two of your opponents are thinking as far as the draft and the league goes in general.
Right, they can scout us, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, open book, so yeah, they'll have no excuses.
Exactly.
But yeah, otherwise, we'll be back next week, go over some more trades. And then I think maybe last year we can go over some previous trades. And then if we still have time next week or the week after, we'll do like our mock draft, like how we think the top 10, top 12 should go. And yeah, we'll go from there. All in